Hello, everyone. My name is Vadrin Tahiri, and I'm the senior analyst for BeInCrypto. So, with me, as always, we have Konstantin, who is our global trader. And today we're going to talk about the four main reasons why we believe the cryptocurrency market could be in for a reversal. So, yeah, today's session is going to be almost entirely TA. So, I'll just immediately share my screen. Okay, perfect. So, for me, the first reason why I think we have reversed comes from the total cryptocurrency market cap chart and from the RSI. So basically, lots of my reasons come from the RSI. Now, if we draw this line, now it's kind of difficult, like to know whether to connect it here or here, but I mean, we can do maybe a slightly steeper line with more touches here. And it does seem that the RSI has broken out or is in the process of breaking out. And additionally, it seems now when this happens, usually the price follows suit. So like in tons of cases, the weekly RSI, the weekly RSI breakout does precede the price breakout. So in this case, I think we'd move at least until like 1.32 billion, which is like a 40% increase from the current level. Now this does look like a double bottom, but I mean, I can't measure divergence here since the second bottom is slightly higher. But yeah, basically, if we do have a RSI movement like this, it would just confirm to me that, that's a long way off, but even if we do have just this, basically, just a breakout above 50 and a retest, then to me, this would basically confirm that a trend reversal is ongoing. And this, I think it's much more clearly actually seen in the Bitcoin chart because, yeah, so we're basically breaking out from this pretty long-term bearish divergence trend line. The price might have, actually it has broken out, so in that case it was the other way around. The price breakout is preceding the RSI breakout, but I do think we get the RSI breakout soon. Now by reversal, I would mean at least at this level, so this 30K level. Like I'm not saying that we'll go straight from here to new all-time highs, even like, so who knows, but still, even a retest of this level would still be a very positive outlook, which brings a ton of gains. Now, the other main reason why I'm thinking that we have bottomed is the potential wave count. So, I mean, I'm not sure whether to use the log here or the regular chart since it's, but too far. But okay, so one of the possibilities is that this is some sort of an ABC correction. And I think A and C have like a very close to 1-to-1 ratio. A is slightly longer, but still, it's closer if we use the log chart. But so like we saw, the A is longer, right? So this would be the possibility that the correction is complete. So the alternative, the bearish one, would be that this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But like if this is true, then it would mean that, we have something like this. So I won't complicate it anymore, but if that is true, it would mean that like the current decrease is basically just the first portion of wave 5. And since like we saw before, this wave A or wave 1, however you want to call it, is already longer than the 3RC, and basically 3 cannot be the shortest of the 5 waves. So in my opinion, this can be a 3 because 5 would have to extend and then in turn would be longer than 3, and one is already longer than 3. So by far, to me, the most likely would be this ABC. And unlike the total cryptocurrency market cap, we actually have a bullish divergence in the weekly here. Let me just draw the correct slope. We do have a bullish divergence, and right now we have a swing failure pattern, which is extremely bullish because the RSI is, sorry, zoom in a little more. Right, the RSI has actually broken out from this level, and basically it's really important that the RSI breaks out from the high between the two divergences. So I'm not sure whether the reversal started here, or maybe we had the truncation and reversal started here, but I really do think that this is a reversal. And like we can also see this in like lower time frames. Basically, I think we did a session on, yeah, it was Thursday, October 13th, and we had this, what at the time seemed like a crash, but then the price basically reversed. So massive bullish hammer, several deviations above this level, below this level, sorry, then a breakout from the wedge. So to me, all of these are pretty strong signs that we already have a reversal.
Thank you very much for sharing. So I have a very simple outlook on Bitcoin and the crypto market right now. So what I want to see is a decoupling of the crypto market with the general market, because I still believe that we are heading into a recession. So what we need is that crypto does some kind of upward movement that doesn't fit into the current market situation. And there's some on-chain data that suggests that whales are accumulating Bitcoin, which is also kind of bullish. But when it comes to Bitcoin itself, I have a very simple view on it. So I'm looking at the monthly chart, and I want to see an upticking MACD of the histogram. What you can see here is that every bear market's end was initiated by an upticking histogram of the MACD. With every bear market's end, I mean the last 3 bear markets, so basically since 2015. And that doesn't mean that we necessarily go straight to a new all-time high or we skyrocket to all highs. It simply means that we don't fall below 17,600. That would suggest that the bottom is in. So when we have that upticking histogram of the MACD in the monthly chart, I'm leaning fully bullish Bitcoin. And right now we are very, very close to the monthly close. So it's basically only a few days. And basically what happens then is that this histogram of the MACD is closing in a few days. And as you can see, with the current price levels, it's very, very likely we actually get that upticking histogram closed like that. So for me, that would suggest that the bottom is in. Would still go sideways for a few weeks or even a few months. But yeah, it would be a strong signal that the current bear market is coming to an end and that we could see a new bull cycle. And in general, I think crypto looks kind of bullish that it goes sideways while most stocks and indices are dropping significantly. So in that regard, I could imagine that crypto is decoupling from the general market, and simply also because silver and gold is massively undervalued, in my opinion, right now, and it hasn't really flourished during those times of crisis. If we look at silver, it definitely hit a low when the COVID crash happened and it quickly recovered. So that was like 3x in a couple of months. But since then, it's in a correction wave. It's correcting, and right now it finds support at the 200 months EMA, but it doesn't really look bullish. So silver, gold, Bitcoin, all of that is like following the general downtrend, and I think it has to stop at some point. And I still believe the theory that Bitcoin is anti-fragile is not yet disproven. It could still be true, and Bitcoin could gain from chaos. So we will see. But when it comes to myself, I'm leaning bullish if Bitcoin closes bullishly with the monthly histogram of the MACD. So basically, the probability that that will follow is very, very high right now. And that means, that I'm starting to accumulate Bitcoin and also Ethereum for the next bull cycle. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, thanks for your thoughts, Konstantin. Yeah, I agree with you. So I mean, I haven't paid as much attention to like the general macro and economic situation, but yeah, it definitely like can affect it. But I do agree that it's a pretty bullish sign that, especially like several cryptos had this breakout while the market is kind of either moving down or sideways. But yeah, so the potential for a recession still makes me wary of whether this is just maybe just a relief rally that will eventually still lead to new lows, or if we have a full-blown reversal. But yeah, so since we mentioned the Ethereum, so like my second reason actually had to do with Ethereum and the Ethereum Bitcoin chart actually. Yeah, so I mean, I know it seems maybe at first glance it seems weird that I'm saying a chart which has like a sort of head and shoulders and two deviations above resistance look bullish, but like I said, I really pay attention to the weekly RSI, and to me this is like a pretty textbook breakout. So basically, this line here, so the beginning of this line, was the bearish divergence that actually led to the downward movement, which caused a decrease of 45%. So this was very close to the all-time high, maybe the week of the all-time high price. And then if we just extend this line here, we basically had the breakout in July. So right here, breakout, this led to a new upward movement. And now we're making another attempt at breaking out, which, I mean, I don't know, to me, just because of like the weekly RSI, the most bearish I could see is this, but even I still think it's more likely that it just breaks out and moves higher above it. So after the breakout, we have this sort of not exactly retest, but when combined with the 50 line, I guess I'm calling it a retest. And now another reclaim of the 50 line. So both of these, in my opinion, are pretty bullish signs. And the reason why I'm considering this a bullish possibility is that Ethereum breakouts, Ethereum BTC breakouts usually mean that altcoins and in general the altcoin market is outperforming Bitcoin, since altcoins kind of tend to follow Ethereum a lot, even though we haven't seen that this much in the cycle, mainly because, yeah, so if I'm looking at the BTC dominance rate, it hasn't fallen that much. Like when you, but even the dominance rate has this like massive divergence. So when we see ETH Bitcoin increasing a lot, that usually means that BTC dominance is falling, but the fact that it hasn't fallen by that much, it means that the rest of the altcoin market is lagging. But there are still some altcoins which basically have done what I'm thinking Bitcoin will do. I mean, Dogecoin, I know it's a meme coin and everything, but yeah, so basically, so like, I mean, most cryptos have the same line that has been ongoing since the all-time high, right? So right now it does seem that Dogecoin has broken out, and the same can be said about its RSI. So it's really hard to draw like a proper line here. I'm going with mustaches 3 here. And then if we have this RSI movement above 50, I'd go full bullish. So basically, to me, this is the same as the first chart which I showed, which is the total cryptocurrency market cap, in which the RSI was in the process of breaking out, but it wasn't yet above 50. So there are like several altcoins which I'm seeing that have this similar similar movement going on. And like it's worth mentioning that this is coming basically after a 93% drop. So even if we get like sorry, I have to use the channels here since I'm going with a log chart. So even if we have like a increase to the first fib level, that would still be like a double from here. Yeah, so basically my second reason would be that lots of altcoins, including Ethereum, Bitcoin, are showing some really bullish charts in the long term.
Yeah, and I think we could also consider the milkshake theory. So if you're not familiar with the milkshake theory, it generally says that the Federal Reserve monetary policies are stricter or more aggressively than others, and then everybody will basically flee into the US dollar. And we're kind of seeing that right now. The Federal Reserve interest rates are higher than European central banks, and US dollar is winning against euro tremendously. So some people suggest that we might see that theory becoming true, and then after everyone went into US dollar, it will collapse into Bitcoin. And we also have to consider that Bitcoin was born in a crisis in 2008. So essentially, we don't know if Bitcoin and crypto will follow a recession. It generally followed S&P, so there was generally a correlation between S&P 500 and Bitcoin. But in terms of a recession, we really don't know if Bitcoin will start to decouple. And if we see that milkshake theory coming into place, we could see happening. We could see that decoupling happening very, very soon, maybe. So I also consider that. But to summarize my point of view, I don't necessarily think that we will have a strong rally just yet. Maybe not in December, maybe not in January, but once we have that bullish close, I'm leaning towards that 17,600 was the actual bottom of that cycle, and we could still go sideways. I mean, if the whole market is dropping tremendously and crypto is going sideways, I still consider this as decoupling and winning. It doesn't have to correlate negatively. As long as it's not correlating, I consider a decoupling successfully taking place. So yeah, we have to wait basically a few more days, and I will definitely give an update in Telegram. But yeah, you always have to consider that nothing of that is financial advice, and we are just laying out our point of view, and nobody can actually see what the future holds. So maybe we will have some questions in a few minutes, but as of now, I don't see any comments and I don't see any questions.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I apologize for my camera. I have no idea why this keeps happening. So I keep getting this like black and white. It kind of crashes sometimes. I have no idea why. But yeah,
What do you
I'm
mean?
getting a comment.
I haven't noticed it yet.
Oh, really? Maybe it's just on my side. I thought it was. Sometimes to me, I just get a black screen, but no.
I generally feel like this streaming software is kind of resource intense for the computer.
Yeah, it could be actually. Okay, since we're not getting any questions, I'll just go through some on-chain data real quick. Okay, yeah, so I'm not looking at on-chain data as much recently, but I want to go through three indicators which I like. So first is the Pure multiple. It's, it basically has to do with daily issuance. So it's sort of a mining indicator. So these vertical dotted lines you see here are basically the halving dates. And the next halving is, I think, 2024. Yeah, it should be 2024. Yeah, that's in May, sometime March, maybe 2024. But yeah, so as we can see here on each bottom, we have dropped into this green region here. And basically the beginning of the next bull market was always confirmed by a move outside of the green region. So at 0.06. And so yeah, we dropped in like June, stayed there for a while, moved, tested the support, and then moved upwards again. So, same thing happened in the March crash and in the December crash. And like this doesn't mean that the price will just like pump. So even here, basically the price consolidated for like 6-7 months before like accelerating. And here it actually dropped first and then it actually began to increase. Same here, but it's still like a pretty bullish sign. So the next would be hash ribbons. So basically, it's also a mining indicator. It basically shows whenever mining becomes too expensive based on like how much rewards it gives. So yeah, when it's too expensive relative to the cost of mining, we get these like red regions here. And all of these have actually given some kind of upward movement. So this slight one, we had like two here prior to the increase, and we had this like massive, I think it was the longest or second longest to date, so from June to August, like a 3 month period in which mining costs were actually bigger than rewards. And since then we haven't had an upward movement. So again, even if it's a real leaf rally, I'm kind of leaning on having one here. And finally, it's the net unrealized profit loss. So basically, these red regions here means that if all the Bitcoin that were basically bought, so if we measure the last price at which they were bought at, so if we were to sell all of them, so basically this accounts for Bitcoins that have been bought at like 1,000 and those that have been bought at 60K, the market would actually be at a loss. There have only been a few periods in which this has been the case. So basically this December 2008, this whole period in 2015. And so similar to that Pure multiple indicator, like once we move into profitability again, which we kind of did right now, this usually marks the end of the correction, but yeah, we have to like wait and see. Obviously, we don't know if the same will happen again, but yeah, these are just three indicators which I'm kind of keeping an eye on right now. And like when combined with the other bullish readings from like the weekly and the total market cap charts, I think they kind of support the possibility that the reversal has begun or will begin soon.
Yeah, so we have multiple bottom indicators right now. I can give a very short overview of the Bitcoin chart in the short term. We have discussed that. Basically, Bitcoin broke out of a golden ratio channel and reached to the next golden ratio resistance at 20K. 21K. It seems to be rejected there for now. It could retrace down to the 50-day EMA, roughly 19,900. If that support level fails, we could retrace down to 19,250. Once, let's put it that way, as long as we stay or bounce above those levels, the upward movement is intact and we could basically go higher. In order to action wave in the midterm, I would see a break of the next golden ratio resistance, which would be kind of a little bit higher. So let me Okay, so no, actually it's exactly at that level. So yeah, once we break that level, I'm very bullish for Bitcoin in the short and midterm, but very, very short term, like in the next few hours to days, we probably see a retracement down to the next support level at 50-day EMA at roughly 19,900. That's my short-term outlook on Bitcoin.
Yeah, basically I have a similar short-term outlook, so I think we will probably like retrace a little in the short term. So maybe let's wait and see if we have any questions, since we're like almost reached 30 minutes. It's 6. So I'm not sure we'll get any, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe we should consider another time where people are more active. Because it's actually fun to me to answer some questions.
Yeah, same. It makes it like, if it's more interactive, it's better, and sometimes it's interesting things that we missed, or just general ideas that like we can just explain maybe in more detail. So yeah. Okay, so those are 3 questions: Dodge, OP, and Ethereum. The RSI. Do you want to take this, or?
You can definitely take it. I will just comment that I personally don't really look at overbought areas. I always look at bearish divergences. That's
same with them.
everything I use for the asset. But you're also using resistances and supports and patterns. I'm not really using that, so I think you're better here to answer that.
Okay. So I shared my screen. I'll open Dodge. But yeah, basically, to me, same as Constantine, I don't really pay attention to like overbought levels. Basically, just divergences. So as long as there isn't a divergence here, I wouldn't necessarily say that the retracement is near. But I mean, I'm guessing that that the question has to do with basically a short-term entry point. So in that case, I'd look at the lower time frame. But honestly, there is no divergence here, even in like the 2 hour. So I mean, yeah, it's heavily overbought, but no divergences. So like you're saying, when to open a long, and I mean it basically depends on your risk tolerance, and like if you have like other positions on it. Because if a reversal has actually begun, then I don't think this low here will be taken out. But again, measuring from the current price, that's like a massive 30% decrease. So just placing a stop is not, advisable to have like a 30% stop loss. So in that case, I'd wait if you get a retracement. Again, I'm not sure if you do, but like this is basically just parabolic. So in my opinion, it's not worth chasing when like you have a chart that kind of looks like this, even if it goes higher. So I know, like I just look at the fib levels on the recent upward movement and see if you get like a retracement here or here, and maybe then look to enter. So I think Ethereum has the same thing. It actually has some bearish divergence, so Ethereum might actually retrace, and it seems to have a like a 1 2 3 4 5 maybe, even though this could be extended and be like a 1 2. Yeah, never mind. We can still. I think Ethereum is more likely to retrace, and I know there's like confluence here, so I'd look at this region maybe to enter longs. like this 1425, 1465 region. And then for OP, I think I did an OP article today. Yeah, okay, actually I did. So, I mean, I'm just going by today's article. So I had it doing another upward movement and then a long correction, just rough outlines. Yeah, so out of the three you mentioned, I think it's much more likely that we get a retracement on Ethereum. OP probably has another upward movement before a correction. And I'm not sure about Dogecoin yet. It's just like parabolic, so no idea.
I would like to add something on Doge. So tomorrow morning, and sorry, today, this morning, I was kind of in the short term because we got rejected at the golden ratio resistance here when this cap formed. But as you can see now, it seems that Doge is able to break that level now. So Doge looks very bullish even in the short term. And we also have that bullish confirmation by the golden crossover of the EMAs in the 4-hourly chart. I mean, okay, RSIs and overbought regions are usually ignored. Histogram is taking a little bit lower, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we go for a correction and a day looks really, and I think that Doge looks really bullish versus Bitcoin in the monthly chart. So basically, because we bounced off this 50-month and as you can see, we had this long phase of going sideways for so many months. So there's not much selling pressure, it seems. So for me, Dogecoin could definitely go to almost double in price versus Bitcoin and reaching up to the next FIB level here. So yeah, it's funny because Doge is a meme coin, but yeah, to me it looks kind of bullish. So yeah, that's everything. So if we don't have any more questions, I think we are already over 30 minutes now.
Yeah, we're over the limit, so I guess this is it. Okay, so everyone, thanks for joining, especially thanks for the question. And we will see you in next week's session, and we hope that more people join.
Yes. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.